So began an 11-year and 4-month career at Salesforce. Let's go to the next one. And so the one thing I want to highlight here is that I started as an SDR. So for all the folks here who started as an SDR in their sales careers. Okay. I personally think that SDR is one of the best jobs and BDR is one of the best jobs. It sets the stage for cold calling, it sets the stage for qualifying, it sets the stage for the foundation of sales. And over the years, I grew to become a VP of sales, and it was wonderful. And along the way, I decided that it might be a good idea to get an MBA part-time, and that's the story of my career. So the summary is it's a far cry from Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Physical Health Education into professional sales. But that's a summary of a career. And there's a lot of things I learned along the way. So as we get into sales, as we're hiring folks to get into sales, just because they don't necessarily have the sales background doesn't necessarily mean that they're not going to be the right salesperson. There are a lot of things that you can hire for and you can learn from for folks who do want to get into sales, and you can hire them as SDRs, you can hire them as BDRs, and they can do a very, very good job. And a couple things that I want to highlight. If there's any piece of guidance that I can give you from my career, what I learned, there's 6 things. So I'm going to walk you through them. And the first one is think big and work hard. So the bigger you think, the bigger the vision you have, and the harder you work, and there's a balance there. I have 3 kids, and they're young, and I work hard, and I'm still able to see them, but think big, work hard, and there's a balance there. The next is continue to learn. So I found that what helped me grow, and throughout my 11.5 years at Salesforce, I had 9 different jobs, so that was a lot of promotions. And one of the things that really kept me going was my hunger to learn. Always reading books, doing the MBA part-time, and if there's a piece of knowledge that I can impart on everybody, probably already all doing it, is keep learning. Read lots of sales books, talk to people, try and learn as much as you can, and then use your network. So when I left 80/20 Solutions after 6 months, I knew that the CEO of 80/20 Solutions was going to do big things, and he is doing big things right now in the city. And I didn't want to depart on bad terms. So what I did is said, hey, Steve, listen, I'm going on to another opportunity, but my commitment to you is you're paying me as a salesperson right now. I'm going to hire you 2 interns before I go to do my job for free. You can train them, and they'll be in sales, and they'll have the same type of experience that I can. And that began the relationship that's now a 12, 13-year relationship. So leverage your network, meet people, talk to people along the way. There's a balance of giving and getting when it comes to developing mentors, but if you find that balance, you're going to be able to do well, and you're going to learn a lot about sales, different tactics, different approaches, different strategies. The next is my favorite one. And these are some mistakes that I made along the way in my sales career, which is I was always hungry. I put up my hand early on and like, pick me for the next promotion. I want it, get me, pick me. And I made a lot of noise, and the squeaky wheel does get the grease sometimes. But I go back, there's a couple things that I changed in my sales career. One of them is that I always want to be pulled. It's always best to be pulled in the direction. You should be positioning yourself that when there's a promotion opportunity, they should be pulling you. It should be a no-brainer that it's you. And it's not, make it be known that you're open to the opportunity. But one thing that I learned, if I could go back and do it again, I would always want to be pulled into the next job versus put up my hand and say, me. The next is core values. And so I was on a podcast, John Barrow's podcast a couple weeks ago, and we talked about core values quite a bit in that podcast. And pick a job, pick a company, pick a leader that aligns with your core values. I did an exercise a few years ago where I sat down and I wrote down my 10 core values. It ended up being 12 core values. And every decision that I make in my career, every decision that I make in any interpersonal relationship or interaction has to do with my core values. And I challenge everybody to take some time and think about it. And if you put down your core values, and if you say no to things that misalign and say yes to things that align, you're going to get further in your career. At least that's from my experience. And then finally, is just be real. There's an aspect of salespersonship, saleswomanship, salespersonship that I find is missing a lot these days, and that's just being authentic. People are reading about all these tactics, they're reading about all these strategies. If you're real and you're authentic and you're just a genuine person, it goes a long way. It's almost in and of itself a tactic these days. So these are a summary of some things that I learned along the way in my sales career. And if there's anything I can impart on you, I hope that you find just a little bit helpful. And I'm just going to add a few more things before I close off this conversation, just about Top Hat and a couple of different things that we're hiring for and what we're looking for. So the first one is a healthy balance of competition and collaboration. So As salespeople, most people want to be at the top of the dashboards. You don't want to do it at the expense of others. Make sure that there's healthy balance of being competitive, getting out there and wanting to win, but don't do it at the expense of others. Have that friendly balance. That's something we're always looking for at top hat. We want that fire, but we want you to be a team player. We want that healthy balance of us. The next is, and actually another show of hands, how many folks here work in a fast-paced, quick-moving environment where you're pulled in multiple directions? Quite a few hands. And so at Top Hat, we're moving extremely quickly. We've been around for 10 years, but we are looking towards that hockey stick growth. And right now it's a time where there's lots of change and lots of change for the good. But what that means is with all the change, you're pulled in multiple directions, multiple competing priorities, and lots of changes. And you've got to be able to handle that, and you've got to be able to find the opportunity in those changes, which is really important. Finally, or third is just persistence, grit, and passion. You gotta be passionate about education, passionate about changing the world, passionate about the mission, and you gotta have that grit. There's gonna be ups, there's gonna be downs, it goes in every aspect of the career, but having that resilience and that persistence to succeed, we're looking for that in our interviews, we're looking for that in our people, and the last and not least is just a track record of success. And it's hard for a lot of junior people to prove a track record of success. I found that it's been helpful to ask people about part-time jobs they've done in university. The college pro painters who've built their book of business and can show a track record of success, always great. They've always worked out as SDR, BDR hires, or a track record of success in sales, even if it's just 1 year or 2 years, and a track record of progression is something that we're also looking for at Top Hat. And with that, I hope you learned something from today. I hope you enjoyed hearing the story of my convoluted career. So thank you for your time. And obviously we're hiring. I'm going to be right over there in that booth under the Toronto sign. Thank you.